Belief is a deep-seated conviction that influences our thoughts, emotions, and actions. It is the lens through which we perceive the world, coloring our experiences and guiding our decisions. When we hold a belief, it becomes a part of our identity, shaping the way we interact with the world and with ourselves. Belief is more than just accepting that something is true. It is about embodying that truth in our daily lives. For example, if you believe in the goodness of people, you will approach others with trust and kindness. This belief will influence your interactions, creating a positive feedback loop that reinforces your conviction. Conversely, if you believe that the world is a harsh and unforgiving place, you will approach life with caution and defensiveness, shaping your experiences to fit that narrative. Belief is a powerful force because it operates on both a conscious and subconscious level. Consciously, we can choose to adopt new beliefs and challenge old ones. Subconsciously, our deeply ingrained beliefs influence our behavior and perception in ways we may not even be aware of. This dual operation of belief is what makes it such a potent tool for transformation. Numerous studies have shown that our beliefs can influence our health. For instance, the placebo effect demonstrates how believing in the efficacy of a treatment can lead to real physiological changes. Similarly, our beliefs about stress can affect how our bodies respond to it. Those who believe that stress is harmful tend to experience more negative health outcomes compared to those who see stress as a challenge that can be overcome. Life is not a series of tasks to be completed, but a dance to be enjoyed. Imagine for a moment a world where every action is performed with the grace and joy of a dancer. In this world, the mundane becomes magical, and the serious becomes playful. This perspective shift can transform our existence, allowing us to harness the power of belief in the most profound ways. When we look at something as structured and disciplined as a soccer match, particularly one played with the exuberance and flair of the Brazilian team during the World Cup, we see an example of life as a dance. The players didn't just play, they danced with the ball, weaving it through the field with a rhythm and grace that defied conventional notions of efficiency and seriousness. This wasn't just soccer, it was a celebration of life, a testament to the joy that comes from embracing playfulness and spontaneity. In our everyday lives, we often lose sight of this playful spirit. We are taught to approach tasks with a seriousness that strips away the joy and spontaneity that make life vibrant. Imagine a bank teller singing as they count out money, transforming a routine task into a joyous expression of rhythm and melody. This might seem absurd in our rigid, efficiency-driven society, but it highlights a profound truth. The way we approach our tasks can change our experience of them. The bus driver navigating through city traffic can curse and stress over every red light and traffic jam, or they can choose to see the journey as an opportunity to dance with the rhythm of the city. By embracing the playful spirit, even the most routine or stressful tasks can become sources of joy and creativity. This transformation comes from a shift in belief from seeing work as a burdensome necessity to viewing it as an opportunity to engage in the dance of life. In ancient times, people often sang while they worked. This wasn't just for entertainment, it was a way to infuse their labor with joy and rhythm, turning work into a form of play. Today, this tradition is largely lost, as we are conditioned to believe that work must be serious and efficient. Yet, the simple act of singing or finding joy in our tasks can fundamentally change our experience, making work not only more enjoyable but also more meaningful. The rigidity with which we approach life is a reflection of our inner beliefs. We believe that seriousness equates to efficiency and that joy is a distraction. However, this rigidity often leads to stress, burnout, and a sense of disconnection from the very essence of life. By embracing a more playful and joyous approach, we can break free from these limiting beliefs and tap into a wellspring of creativity and vitality. We engage with the world through a lens of curiosity and imagination, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. A stick becomes a sword, a cardboard box a spaceship. This imaginative play is not just a frivolous activity, it is a powerful tool for learning and growth. Through play, children explore their environment, test boundaries, and develop crucial cognitive and social skills. We often lose touch with this playful spirit, succumbing to the pressures and responsibilities of daily life. However, the essence of play remains vital. It allows us to approach life with a sense of wonder and openness, breaking free from the constraints of routine and convention. Play fosters creativity, resilience, and adaptability, qualities essential for navigating the complexities of modern life. The Brazilian soccer team's performance at the World Cup exemplifies this principle. Their approach to the game was not merely about winning, but about expressing themselves through movement and skill. They played with a joy that transcended the mechanics of the sport, transforming it into an art form. This playful attitude did not detract from their effectiveness. On the contrary, it enhanced it. By embracing play, they tapped into a flow state where effort became effortless and the boundaries of what was possible expanded. In our own lives, we can cultivate this same sense of play, whether it is through a hobby, a creative pursuit, or simply approaching our daily tasks with a lighter heart. Play can transform the mundane into the extraordinary. It is not about avoiding responsibilities, but about infusing them with a sense of joy and creativity. Imagine a workplace where innovation thrives, not because of rigid protocols, but because employees are encouraged to explore and experiment, to play with ideas and possibilities. Joy, closely intertwined with play, is another transformative force. Joy is not merely a fleeting emotion, but a state of being that arises when we align ourselves with our true nature. It is a deep-seated sense of contentment and fulfillment that transcends external circumstances. Joy comes from within, from living authentically and embracing life fully. It is an expression of joy, a way to connect with the present moment and with others. In today's world, such practices are rare, yet their potential to enhance our well-being is immense. Imagine a society where joy is not an occasional indulgence, but a fundamental aspect of daily life. This is not an unattainable ideal, but a possibility that we can create through our beliefs and actions. We are often caught in the trap of rigidity, believing that seriousness and structure are the only paths to success and fulfillment. However, this rigidity can become a barrier, preventing us from experiencing the full richness of life. By breaking free from these rigid beliefs and embracing flexibility and flow, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities and joy. The story of rigidity begins with our education and upbringing, where we are taught to prioritize efficiency and productivity above all else. We learn to approach life with a seriousness that leaves little room for spontaneity or play. This mindset is evident in many aspects of our lives, from the way we work to the way we interact with others. We become fixated on goals and outcomes, losing sight of the journey itself. Life is inherently dynamic and unpredictable. It is a constant dance of change and transformation. When we cling too tightly to rigid structures and beliefs, we create tension and resistance within ourselves. This tension manifests as stress, anxiety, and a sense of disconnection from the flow of life. To truly thrive, we must learn to be flexible, to move with the rhythms of life rather than against them. Flexibility does not mean abandoning structure or discipline, but rather adapting to the ever-changing circumstances of life. It means being open to new experiences and possibilities, and being willing to change course when necessary. This flexibility allows us to respond to challenges with creativity and resilience, rather than with rigidity and fear. Consider the analogy of a tree in the wind. A rigid tree, unable to bend, will break under the force of a strong wind. In contrast, a flexible tree bends and sways with the wind, absorbing its energy and remaining intact. Similarly, when we approach life with flexibility, we are better able to navigate its ups and downs, maintaining our integrity and well-being. Belief is an intrinsic part of the human experience. It is the lens through which we perceive the world and ourselves. However, beliefs can both illuminate and obscure our understanding. To harness the power of belief, we must first understand its nature. Belief fundamentally shapes our reality. It's not merely an abstract concept or a set of ideas we hold in our minds. Rather, it forms the very foundation of how we interpret and interact with the world. From the mundane to the profound, our beliefs influence every aspect of our existence. They are the unseen architects of our experiences, subtly yet powerfully molding our perceptions, actions, and reactions. In various traditions, beliefs about the self often involve a distinction between different aspects of our being. For instance, in many spiritual and philosophical systems, there is a notion of the higher self and the lower self. The higher self is typically seen as our true spiritual essence, a source of wisdom, compassion, and higher consciousness. In contrast, the lower self is associated with the ego, our base desires, and the more materialistic or mundane aspects of our existence. The struggle to let the higher self guide and control the lower self is a common theme in these traditions. Create a schism within us, perpetuating a cycle of conflict and dissatisfaction. When we believe in this duality, we often find ourselves locked in an internal battle, trying to suppress or overcome our perceived lower nature. This battle can be exhausting and unending because it is based on a fundamental misunderstanding of our true nature. This realization leads us to a more profound understanding of belief. When we see that the lower self is an illusion, it ceases to be a problem. It becomes like a mirage that we don't need to fight or control. Instead, we walk through it with the understanding that it has no real substance. This shift in perspective dissolves the internal conflict and brings us closer to our true nature. Observing the flow of thoughts reveals their transient nature. Thoughts arise and dissipate like waves on the water. They come and go without leaving a lasting mark. This understanding helps dissolve the illusion of a thinker behind the thoughts, liberating us from the false notion of a separate self that must control our experiences. When we see thoughts for what they are, ephemeral and insubstantial, we begin to free ourselves from the grip of limiting beliefs. This split thinking permeates many spiritual and philosophical traditions. For instance, in the theosophical perspective, there is a distinct separation between the higher self and the lower self. The higher self is revered as the spiritual essence, embodying qualities such as wisdom, compassion, and transcendence. Conversely, the lower self is often equated with the ego, driven by desires, fears, and attachments to material existence. The goal is to elevate the influence of the higher self, allowing it to guide and govern the lower self, much like a rider directing a horse. Instead of viewing ourselves as separate entities engaged in a perpetual struggle for dominance, Zen invites us to see through the illusion of duality altogether. It suggests that the concept of a lower self is akin to a mirage, a deceptive image that dissolves upon closer inspection. When we cease to identify with this illusion, when we stop trying to fight or control it, we discover a profound truth: there is only one self, not divided into higher and lower aspects. This realization brings a sense of unity and wholeness, transcending the limitations imposed by dualistic thinking. In the exploration of harnessing the power of belief, we encounter the transformative potential of spontaneity. Spontaneity is not merely about impulsive action or random behavior. Rather, it represents a deep alignment with the natural flow of life and the authentic expression of our true nature. When we respond spontaneously to a situation, we bypass the habitual patterns of the egoic mind. We act from a place of inner knowing and authenticity, without the interference of doubts, fears, or preconceived judgments. This state of mind is often referred to as the Buddha mind, or the unattached mind, a state characterized by clarity, presence, and an innate understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. Consider the Zen koan that challenges conventional notions of identity and self-awareness. When a Zen master asks, "Who are you?" he is not seeking a superficial answer based on name or occupation. Instead, he invites the seeker to go beyond conceptual labels and tap into a deeper, more spontaneous understanding of self. The genuine response emerges not from intellectual analysis, but from a place of pure presence and awareness. In one such interaction, a journalist was posed this profound question by a Zen master. Initially responding with his name and profession, he fell short of the master's intent. The master sought a response that transcended intellectual constructs, a response that arose spontaneously from the depths of authentic being. It was only when the journalist let go of his conceptual identity and embraced the simplicity of the present moment that he could offer a response that resonated with truth, a response that mirrored the unattached mind of the Buddha. Silence plays a pivotal role in cultivating the ability to respond spontaneously. In moments of stillness, we transcend the need for verbal expression or conceptualization. We simply exist, fully present and attuned to the flow of life. In this state, there is no need to deliberate or search for answers. Silence becomes a gateway to a deeper understanding, a profound recognition of our essential nature beyond the illusions of duality. When faced with complex questions or philosophical inquiries, they may remain silent for extended periods before offering a response. This silence is not a sign of ignorance or hesitation, but a deliberate practice of allowing the answer to emerge spontaneously from the depths of awareness. Whether immediate or delayed, the response that arises from silence carries the authenticity and clarity of the unattached mind. To harness the power of belief through spontaneity, we must overcome the illusion of the thinker, the mistaken belief that there is a separate entity within us controlling our thoughts and actions. In reality, thoughts arise spontaneously, like waves on the surface of water, and dissipate just as naturally. There is no permanent thinker behind the thoughts, rather, there is a continuous flow of consciousness. To fully harness the power of belief, we must confront and dissolve the illusion of the thinker, the pervasive belief that there is a separate entity within us controlling our thoughts and actions. This illusion creates a sense of duality between the thinker and the thoughts, leading to inner conflict and confusion about our true nature. Thoughts arise continuously like waves on the surface of water. They emerge spontaneously from the depths of consciousness and dissipate just as naturally. There is no permanent thinker behind these thoughts, rather, there is a seamless flow of consciousness that transcends any individual thought or perception. When we observe this flow without attachment or identification, we begin to see through the illusion of duality. The thinker is not a static entity, but a transient appearance within the stream of consciousness. This realization liberates us from the burden of self-imposed division and allows us to embrace the spontaneity and authenticity of our true nature. Belief in a separate self that controls thoughts and feelings creates a false sense of duality. In reality, there is no separation between the self and the experience of thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. Recognizing this unity allows us to live more fully and authentically, free from the constraints of dualistic thinking. Dualistic thinking perpetuates the illusion of separation and reinforces the belief in a permanent thinker behind the thoughts. When we identify with this illusion, we create unnecessary conflict and suffering in our lives. The key to overcoming dualistic thinking lies in cultivating awareness and mindfulness. By observing the flow of thoughts without judgment or attachment, we begin to unravel the tangled web of dualistic beliefs. We see that thoughts arise and dissipate spontaneously without the need for a separate entity to control or regulate them. This insight allows us to embrace the fluidity of experience and align with the natural flow of life. Integrating the understanding of unity and dissolving the illusion of the thinker requires consistent practice and mindfulness. Here are practical steps to help dissolve duality and align with the power of belief. Cultivate mindful awareness of your thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they arise in the present moment. Observe them without. Engage in self-inquiry practices to investigate the nature of the thinker and the true nature of self. Ask yourself, who am I, and observe what arises without grasping for conceptual, conceptual answers. We must first recognize its profound impact on our lives. From the moment we are born, we are immersed in a sea of beliefs about ourselves, about others, about the world. These beliefs shape our identities, inform our decisions, and define our experiences. They are not just intellectual constructs, but deeply ingrained patterns of perception and interpretation. Consider for a moment the child learning to walk. In the eyes of that child, the world is a wondrous and unpredictable place. Every step is an adventure into the unknown, guided not by rigid expectations, but by an innate curiosity and a willingness to explore. The child does not see boundaries or limitations. Instead, they embrace the fluidity of learning and growth. Euclidean thinking is a term that encapsulates our human tendency to impose order and structure upon the world. Named after the ancient Greek mathematician Euclid, who defined geometry with its straight lines and fixed angles, this mode of thinking seeks to categorize, classify, and compartmentalize our experiences. It draws straight lines between cause and effect, between right and wrong, between self and other. When we adopt Euclidean thinking, we impose these straight lines onto the fabric of reality. We create grids of thought, boxes of identity, and streets of expectation. We seek to control the uncontrollable, to tame the wildness of existence into manageable, predictable patterns. In doing so, however, we often overlook the inherent wiggliness, the fluidity and spontaneity that defines life itself. They move with purpose and determination, striving to reach their destination in the shortest possible route. Yet in their pursuit of efficiency, they may miss the beauty of meandering paths, the joy of exploring new landscapes, and the serendipity of unexpected encounters along the way. Similarly, when we approach belief with a rigid mindset, we limit our capacity to embrace the richness and diversity of human experience. We confine ourselves to narrow perspectives, closing ourselves off to alternative viewpoints and new possibilities. We become like the jogger, fixated on reaching a predetermined goal, oblivious to the ever-changing scenery that surrounds us. But what if I told you that belief itself is fluid? What if I invited you to consider belief not as a fixed point, but as a wave and ever-changing, dynamic force that ebbs and flows with the tides of experience? This is where we encounter the power of fluid belief. Fluid belief is not about abandoning all structure or conviction. It is about finding harmony between rigidity and flexibility, between certainty and openness. It is about recognizing that beliefs, like waves in the ocean, can adapt and evolve in response to new information, new experiences, and new insights. Think of the surfer riding the crest of a wave. They do not resist the ocean's currents or try to control its movements. Instead, they embrace the fluidity of the water, learning to navigate its ebbs and flows with grace and skill. In the same way, when we embrace fluid belief, we learn to navigate the currents of life with mindfulness, adaptability, and a sense of adventure. By integrating these principles into your daily life, you can begin to harness the power of fluid belief. You can navigate the complexities of existence with greater resilience, creativity, and compassion. You can embrace the wiggliness of life, the spontaneity, the unpredictability, and the boundless potential that awaits beyond the confines of Euclidean thinking. When we adopt Euclidean thinking, we attempt to confine the complexity of life into neat, manageable categories. We draw straight lines between cause and effect, between right and wrong, between self and other. We create mental constructs like boxes that serve as containers for our beliefs, identities, and understanding of the world. Imagine looking at a city from above, observing its grid-like streets and neatly arranged buildings. This urban landscape, while efficient and orderly, reflects our human desire to impose structure onto our surroundings. We lay out roads in straight lines, create boundaries with precise measurements, and compartmentalize spaces into designated areas. Similarly, in our personal lives, Euclidean thinking manifests as the tendency to categorize ourselves and others based on fixed labels and definitions. We identify with particular roles such as profession, nationality, or social status and perceive the world through the lens of these identities. We draw lines of separation between us and them, defining boundaries that reinforce our sense of belonging and identity. Consider the jogger once more, running along a straight path with determination and focus. They follow a predefined route, guided by the belief that a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points. Yet, in their quest for efficiency, they may overlook the beauty of alternative routes, the winding trails, the scenic detours, and the unexpected discoveries that lie off the beaten path. Euclidean thinking, while offering a sense of order and control, can also limit our capacity for spontaneity, creativity, and exploration. It encourages us to prioritize certainty over curiosity, predictability over possibility, and stability over growth. By defining the world in terms of fixed categories and boundaries, we may inadvertently close ourselves off to new ideas, experiences, and perspectives. Euclidean mindset, we risk reducing these profound inquiries into simplistic binaries or dogmatic assertions. We may seek definitive answers to complex questions, imposing our own limited understanding onto mysteries that defy easy explanation. In doing so, we may overlook the nuance, ambiguity, and depth inherent in these age-old inquiries. Similarly, consider the philosophical quest for truth and meaning. Philosophers throughout history have grappled with questions about the nature of reality, the purpose of existence, and the boundaries of knowledge. Yet, when we approach these inquiries with a rigid Euclidean mindset, we may seek definitive answers or absolute truths, overlooking the inherent uncertainty and complexity of these philosophical puzzles. The river does not adhere to straight lines or fixed paths, rather, it meanders through valleys, carves through canyons, and nourishes the surrounding ecosystem with its life-giving waters. In the same way, when we embrace fluid belief, we allow our understanding of the world to evolve and adapt in response to new experiences, insights, and perspectives. Fluid belief is not about abandoning all structure or conviction, rather. It is about finding harmony between rigidity and flexibility, between certainty and openness. It is about recognizing that beliefs, like waves in the ocean, can ebb and flow with the tides of experience. By embracing fluid belief, we liberate ourselves from the constraints of Euclidean thinking and open ourselves to new possibilities for growth, discovery, and transformation. Cultivate curiosity and openness. Challenge your assumptions, question your biases, and seek out diverse perspectives. Remember that beliefs are not fixed truths, but evolving narratives shaped by context and perspective. By embracing curiosity, you invite new ideas and insights into your life, expanding your understanding of yourself and the world around you. Just as a surfer remains attuned to the rhythm of the waves, cultivate awareness of the present moment. Notice how beliefs arise and change in response to your experiences. Rather than clinging to certainty, learn to trust in the process of growth and discovery. In the journey of life, we encounter moments of clarity and moments of uncertainty. These moments shape our beliefs, influencing how we perceive ourselves, others, and the world around us. At times, we may find ourselves clinging to familiar beliefs, seeking comfort in their stability and certainty. Yet, life is not static, it is a dynamic and ever-changing tapestry of experiences. Fluid belief invites us to transcend the limitations of Euclidean thinking, to move beyond rigid categories and fixed definitions. It encourages us to embrace the wiggliness, the spontaneity, unpredictability, and boundless potential that defines life itself. By embracing fluid belief, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, creative solutions, and deeper insights into ourselves and the world around us. Just as a surfer remains attuned to the rhythm of the waves, cultivate awareness of the present moment. Notice how beliefs arise and change in response to your experiences. Rather than clinging to certainty, learn to trust in the process of growth and discovery. By integrating these principles into your daily life, you can begin to harness the power of fluid belief. You can navigate the complexities of existence with greater resilience, creativity, and compassion. You can embrace the wiggliness of life, the spontaneity, the unpredictability, and the boundless potential that awaits beyond the confines of Euclidean thinking. Chesterton invites us to reconsider the childlike vision of life, a perspective where everything is seen as new and extraordinary. Imagine, if you will, the wonder of a child encountering the world for the first time, a tree stretching its branches towards the heavens, appearing as if the earth itself reaches up to touch the sky. Or the sun, a radiant ball of light and warmth, seen not just as a celestial body, but as a marvel that can turn blue under the gaze of innocent eyes. The power to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. As we grow older, however, familiarity often dulls this sense of wonder. We become accustomed to the world around us, labeling things with names and categories, and losing sight of the inherent magic that once filled our perceptions. But what if we could reclaim that childlike perspective? What if we could see the world anew, through eyes unburdened by preconceived notions and habitual thinking? This is where Chesterton's insights into belief become truly illuminating. He suggests that to believe is not merely to accept the existence of something, but to perceive its deeper significance, to see beyond the surface and into the essence of things. In Chesterton's view, belief is a creative act, a way of participating in the ongoing creation of reality itself. It allows us to engage with life in a way that transcends the limitations of purely rational thought. Instead of seeing the world as a collection of facts and figures, belief invites us to see it as a tapestry of meanings and possibilities, where every moment holds the potential for discovery and wonder. Consider, for instance, his analogy of the tree reaching towards the sky. To a child, this sight may evoke a sense of awe and curiosity, prompting questions about the nature of life and existence. Why does the tree grow? What does it mean to stretch towards the heavens? These questions, born out of belief, lead us into deeper reflections on the mysteries of existence itself. Perception, as Chesterton and similar minds suggest, is not merely a passive reception of sensory information, but an active process of interpretation and creation. Our beliefs serve as filters through which we perceive and understand reality, shaping our experiences and interactions with the world around us. In this section, we delve into how belief influences perception and how adopting a Chestertonian perspective can enrich our understanding of existence. Chesterton invites us to reconsider our approach to perception by drawing parallels to the childlike vision of life. Just as a child sees the world with fresh eyes, unencumbered by preconceived notions or habitual thinking, so too can belief transform our perception of reality. Imagine a child gazing at a tree, marveling at its branches reaching towards the sky. To the child, this is not merely a tree, but a living symbol of growth and connection and embodiment of the earth's longing to touch the heavens. For Chesterton, this analogy extends beyond the physical realm. He suggests that belief enables us to perceive the deeper significance of things, to see beyond their external appearances and into their spiritual and symbolic dimensions. The tree becomes not just a biological organism, but a metaphor for the human quest for meaning and transcendence. Chesterton challenges us to reconsider the nature of reality itself. He suggests that what we perceive as objective truth is often colored by our beliefs and assumptions. In his view, reality is not a fixed, immutable entity, but a dynamic and multifaceted phenomenon that shifts according to our perspective and interpretation. Consider, for instance, Chesterton's analogy of the world as a musical or dancing phenomenon. In this metaphor, he invites us to see life as a symphony of experiences, where each moment contributes to the larger composition of existence. Belief, in this context, becomes a way of participating in the creative process of reality itself, an invitation to dance with the rhythms of life and embrace the spontaneity and unpredictability of existence. Imagine two individuals witnessing a sunset. One person approaches the scene with a scientific mindset, analyzing the atmospheric conditions and the physics of light. The other person approaches it with a poetic mindset, seeing the sunset as a poignant moment of beauty and wonder. Both individuals are witnessing the same event, yet their beliefs and perspectives color their experience in vastly different ways. The scientist may see the sunset as a natural phenomenon governed by physical laws, while the poet may see it as a fleeting glimpse of the divine, a moment of transcendence that speaks to the deeper mysteries of existence. In Chesterton's view, both perspectives are valid in their own right. Belief allows us to engage with reality from multiple angles, enriching our understanding and appreciation of the world's complexity and beauty. It encourages us to embrace diversity of thought and to recognize the inherent limitations of any single perspective. Chesterton challenges us to embrace the paradoxical nature of belief itself. He suggests that belief often involves holding on to ideas that defy rational explanation or logical consistency. This resonates with the teachings of the wise about the mystical aspects of existence. They emphasize the importance of embracing nonsense and humor in our spiritual journey. Imagination, as Chesterton and similar philosophical minds suggest, is not merely a faculty of creating fanciful ideas, but a profound tool for exploring and understanding reality. In this section, we delve into how imagination intersects with belief, shaping our perceptions and enriching our experiences of existence. Chesterton invites us to reconsider the role of imagination through the lens of the childlike vision of life. He suggests that imagination allows us to see beyond the surface of things, to perceive their deeper significance and symbolic meanings. Just as a child sees a tree as more than a collection of branches and leaves, a living entity reaching towards the sky, so too does imagination transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. For Chesterton, this perspective extends beyond individual objects or phenomena. Imagination becomes a gateway to exploring the mysteries of existence itself, inviting us to contemplate the deeper truths that lie beneath the surface of everyday life. Consider, for instance, his musings on the cosmic and the comic. He suggests that the universe, created by a divine mind, is infused with a playful spirit, a spirit that invites us to engage with life in a creative and light-hearted manner. In his reflections on the power of imagination, Chesterton challenges us to embrace the nonsensical and the absurd. He suggests that imagination allows us to transcend the limitations of rational thought, opening the door to new possibilities and perspectives. This aligns with the teachings of the wise about the mystical nature of existence. They emphasize the importance of embracing nonsense and humor in our spiritual journey. Reality is not confined to what can be seen and measured, but extends into the realm of symbols and metaphors. A simple sunset becomes a profound moment of transcendence, a glimpse into the eternal beauty and mystery of existence itself. The power of storytelling in shaping our beliefs and perceptions. Stories have the ability to transport us to different worlds, to challenge our assumptions, and to inspire us to see the world through new eyes. Chesterton himself was a master storyteller, weaving tales that challenged conventional wisdom and invited readers to explore the deeper meanings hidden within everyday life. In Chesterton's view, storytelling is not merely a form of entertainment, but a profound act of imagination, a way of engaging with reality that transcends the boundaries of time and space. Through storytelling, we can explore the mysteries of existence, contemplate the nature of good and evil, and seek answers to the fundamental questions that define our human experience. In his musings on the cosmic and the comic, we find a profound truth that the universe, created by a divine mind, is infused with a playful spirit, just as a misprint transforms cosmic into comic. So too does imagination transform the serious into the light-hearted, inviting us to see the world not as a puzzle to be solved, but as a mystery to be embraced. It encourages us to approach life with a sense of curiosity and wonder, recognizing that the universe is far more expansive and multifaceted than our limited human understanding can grasp. Imagination, in this context, becomes a tool for expanding our awareness and embracing the inherent magic of life. Belief, as Chesterton and similar philosophical minds suggest, is not merely a passive acceptance of ideas, but a transformative force that shapes our perceptions, values, and ultimately our sense of self. In this section, we delve into how belief influences self-discovery and personal growth, inviting us to reconsider our assumptions about reality and embrace the deeper mysteries of existence. Chesterton invites us to reconsider our approach to self-discovery through the lens of belief. He suggests that belief is not simply about accepting external truths, but about exploring the depths of our own consciousness. This perspective challenges us to cultivate a sense of wonder and curiosity, approaching life with the open-mindedness of a child and the wisdom of a sage. The journey of self-discovery is a quest for meaning and purpose. For Chesterton, this journey begins with questioning the assumptions and limitations that we impose upon ourselves. It requires us to embrace the paradoxical nature of belief itself, to hold on to ideas that defy rational explanation or logical consistency, yet resonate deeply with our innermost being. In Chesterton's view, belief serves as a compass on this journey, a guiding light that illuminates the path to self-awareness and enlightenment. By embracing belief, we can transcend the boundaries of ego and identity, tapping into a source of wisdom and creativity that lies dormant